Hi, guys. Hope you're well. I wanted to jump on here to talk a little bit more specifically about low carb days. As you guys know, that is something that we're going to be incorporating in my challenge group. So I wanted to briefly talk to you about why we're doing them, what they mean, what the purpose is, what they look like, and give you a little bit more details because I'm sure you're probably curious. So, why are we doing low carb days? Here's the gist. Low carb days, when we are limiting the amount of carbs that we're eating, allows us to hone in on burning more fat or really accelerating fat loss. And the reason for that is when we don't have that carb intake, like we do on normal eating days or on even higher carb days when we indulge ourselves, our bodies don't have those carbs to use as full fuel or to burn as energy. And so that's why low carb days can be excellent for burning fat, because when we don't have the carbs, our body uses fat and our fat stores as energy and burns it as energy to get us through workouts, to get us through the rest of the day, etc. So that's why we're going to be incorporating low carb days, because I want you guys to get a feel for what they look like as far as nutrition goes, what they feel like, how your body reacts to them, and also how you pair a specific workout with that kind of day nutrition wise. So that's why we're doing them. I will send you a link with more specifics as about the science behind low carb days and what happens with your body with specific hormones and why they are great to incorporate. But that's the gist. We want to burn fat. At least I do. I'm sure you guys do too. So that's why we are incorporating them. Now, as far as the nutrition goes for low carb days, I know for the majority we will be following the 21-day fixed nutrition program with the color containers, just to give everybody an introduction to the idea of counting macros or looking at macros versus just calories. But for low carb days, I'm just going to give you a list of the foods to focus on and the foods that you can eat. And I just want you to stick to that list. We're still going to think about, obviously, our calorie range goal. We're not going to be going too crazy with our calories, but we're going to make sure that we stick to certain kinds of foods to really keep that carb intake down. Now, in my experience or the programs that I've been following, for low carb days, the goal has been to try to stay at 50 net carbs or lower. And net carbs are essentially the total carbs you're eating per day minus fiber. And that number equals your net carbs. So I've used MyFitnessPal to track net carbs, where you actually enter in your food and you can look at the macro breakdown chart and really see, you know, how your carbs are panning out for the day, what kind of fiber is panning out for the day, and then subtract the two numbers. But I'm not going to ask you guys to do all that unless you want to. I encourage you to use MyFitnessPal if you want to kind of play around with tracking, but it's not something that you're going to have to do, because I'm literally just going to give you the foods to focus on and eat. I'll actually give you guys some specific menus of things that I have used or I have just eaten like for low carb days. And the truth is, for low carb, there aren't a huge amount of food options. You're kind of limited. But that's why it's nice that they only happen, or we're only going to be incorporating them once or twice a week. It's not something that you're going to have to kind of do every day. And this mentality goes along with the MAID diet specifically, like I mentioned in my webinar and in some of the information I've sent you guys. The MAID diet is a high fat, moderate protein, low carb diet. And that is a diet that some choose to maintain, or a nutrition focus that some choose to maintain all the time. And it's just, again, it's up to you and what works for you. So this is kind of your just small introduction to this idea and what it feels like and what it looks like, and that sort of thing. So hopefully that kind of offers you some insight into the nutrition side. And again, I will be giving you guys specific guidelines for what to eat. I don't want you to worry about counting containers and colors and things like that. We are still going to really hone in on our calorie range goal, just to make sure that we're still maintaining calories. But the truth is, for low carb, at least in my experience, it's hard to even hit calories. Um, on low carb. So you have to get kind of extra creative, which is why I'm going to give you specific food lists. So again, hopefully that gives you the nutrition side of how low carb will go. And I will be guiding you step by step through that to make sure you're comfortable. Now for workouts, we are actually going to be doing speed burst training or interval training. Now, the reason you pair interval training with low carb days is again to accelerate that fat loss. When you do speed burst training or interval training, you essentially create the EPOC effect or that afterburn effect. And for those of you that maybe are aware of Orange Theory Fitness or belong to Orange Theory or go to Orange Theory classes, you've probably heard a lot about the afterburn effect and how that is great for not only burning calories during your workout, but also burning calories throughout the day and even into the next day. So again, if we are creating or simulating workouts that push your body into that EPOC effect, you are going to again accelerate that fat loss because we are honing in our nutrition on higher fat, higher protein, less carbs to really make sure our body is using that fat to use as fuel. And so that's the whole idea. So just to give you an example of what my workouts typically look like on low carb days, I typically go to the gym. Sometimes I'll go outside. Sometimes I'll stay home. So there are a variety of different options to get the same effect. But when I go to the gym, I like to do my speed burst on a bike. I do 5 to 10 minutes of warm up. And then for anywhere from 10 to 17 minutes, I've slowly been working myself up. I will do 20 seconds all out as fast as I possibly can on the bike, and then 40 seconds of active recovery where I'm still moving, but just going very slowly. And then I repeat that for a number of times depending on how many I'm doing for the day. And again, I've slowly had to work myself into that. So we'll be starting with 10 repetitions or 10 times in our low carb days for the workouts that I give you. And then after that speed burst interval piece, I typically do anywhere from a 20 to 30 minute walk, jog, elliptical, stairs, I could stay on the bike, something like that, just to, do a little bit of active recovery for a longer amount of time. Just do that low intensity, long cardio. There's controversial information on whether or not that's actually beneficial for you, but I think it's nice. It's a different kind of working out. You still get that intense, 10 to 15 minutes, and then you just also have an opportunity to keep your body moving and doing something a little bit different outside of the beach body workouts, which can get intense, or weight training, which some of you may have done, or maybe some of you guys are just starting out. But regardless, it's just a different kind of mindset, a different kind of training. And that's why I've enjoyed pairing this low carb nutrition idea with the interval training. So again, that's what my workout looks like when I go to the gym. If I go outside, I'll do, sprints down the block or down my driveway and then walk back and then do them again. And then in the house, or if I stay home, you can't get to a gym, you don't belong to a gym, something like that. There's plenty of at-home things you can do to simulate the same thing, whether that's high knees for 20 seconds or simulating jumping rope for 20 seconds if you don't actually have a jump rope. Burpees, anything like that. So I will give you specifics of what I want you to try to do, but if you aren't finding something that's working for you, just let me know and we'll find the best match. Because again, this is all about finding what works for you. So overall, that's kind of what low carb days look like. And I wanted to just explain a little bit more about why we're doing them, why they're beneficial, and why I think that they're good to incorporate. And the main reason I like incorporating them is because it offers variety. I have found that with programs that I've been doing, the more variety I have and the more I can kind of flex around not only what I'm doing for my workouts, but also how I'm eating, it just keeps me interested. In the past, when I've done things where I'm doing the same eating every day and the same workouts every day and just kept repeating that week by week, I get bored very, very quickly. And that's why I love the idea of carb cycling and the idea of implementing things like low carb days, because it just, every few days things change, and every few days it gives you a new opportunity to kind of refocus not only what you're doing for your fitness, but also for your eating. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully that gives you guys some insight. I will drop more information in the comments of this video just for you guys to read more articles about why it's great to pair low carb days with interval training and HIIT training. If you have questions, let me know. But I am so excited to get started, and I'm hoping that you guys enjoy low carb days as much as I do because I love them. They are easy, they're brainless. The food list is rather small and short because unfortunately that's just how it goes. There's not a ton of options. Um, but you guys will love them, I promise. So I look forward to getting started and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.